I'm a little kid. I can't hang on. To be honest with you, I'm feeling good.
Wait, the one was a bit
Swimming.
Now
that
Paul Ferretti's not playing. Well, when I got here, she wasn't playing. So she was on the bench. Then she come on halfway through the first half and went off halfway through the second half. I didn't see any of it.
I don't know. Someone like that stays there all their life.
But she did first game back. And she scored. So I missed that too.
They want to come to she's like, you want fish? No, he's not.
One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How's that? Is that good? Perfect, thank you.
your time of need. For almost 2 decades of sponsorship of our club. Thank you to Taz from Power Manufacturers for the wonderful commitment you've shown to our club since arriving at Royals in 2025, and in particular for helping to support our celebrations today. We'd also like to thank all the wonderful businesses who have donated to our 30-year celebration raffle, helping us raise funds to support our growing female football program. A very special thank you to Avado Studios for not only their generous donation of 6-month membership, special thanks to Sean Milano, as well as staff member and current Royals player, Danny Jackson. Other valued raffle goers include Yogi, Zenith, Reward.
1, 2, 3, hello, 1, 2. Is that good? You happy with that?
My line is, thank you for all your support. Our 2025 Senior Women's Partners, we also would like to acknowledge and thank our 2025 Senior Women's Team Partners, Gaffney Constructions, Insight, Volume 9, Blue Sky Scaffolding, the Cross-Kids Hotel, Dallas Trade Northwest, Gravitas Commercial Cleaning, Rubber Duck, Optus, and Lights. These sponsors play a key role in the ongoing success of our program. We extend our gratitude to Nicholas James Lawyers, our club major sponsor, for their support across everything we do at Essendon Royals. Today's Easter also marks the inaugural awarding of the Comedy Procedure Plate, a tribute to 2 legends of Victorian and Australian football, Vaughan Comedy and Michael Procedure. The two formed a legendary strike partnership at South Melbourne in the National Soccer League, and later became the Warriors shirt themselves. Over the last decade, Vaughan and Michael, as head of football and technical director, have played pivotal roles in shaping our
1, 2, 3, ABC.
And we're extremely proud to
1, 2, 3, ABC.
A very special thanks to
1, 2, 3, ABC.
Players, coaches and administrators in attendance today. Your contributions over the last 30 years have helped build something truly meaningful. We wish both sides today the very best of luck for this afternoon and for the rest of the season. As a reminder of conduct in today's matches, before we get underway, attending today's match, you will agree to abide by Football Victoria Spectator Code.
Good afternoon and welcome to Saturday afternoon football here across Keys Reserve as we represent and celebrate 30 years of the Essendon Royals Women's Football Club as they play for the first ever Coveney-Kerja plate here. Of course, Coveney and Kerja were a lethal combination for South Melbourne a long, long time ago and really sort of made way to what the teams we have now in what's a momentous occasion. Players past and present together here. Essendon Royals. And starting in goals, of course, number 21, Zara Board. Number 2, Emma Langley. Number 3, Mia Lantieri Bartley. Number 4, Michaela Jurcic. Number 5, Rebecca Van Dort. Number 6, Sasha Coy. Number 9, Ari Fujiwara. Number 11, Ava Grover. Number 12, Kobe Wilbert. Number 14, Amy Parkinson and Kendra Smith. Number 20. And then on the bench for Vince Battiato's team, Betty Michael, Philomena Delic, Emily Harbus, Renee Pocock, Ava Walters, and of course Alessia Bresciano for South Melbourne on the pitch today. In goals is Ayana Ayagi. Annabelle Haffernan will be wearing the number 3. Number 5, Sophie Papasanis. Number 7, Francesca Romano. Number 8, Keisha Sanju. Number 9, Olivia Bomford. Number 10, Raquel Doralis. Number 14, Misha Westland. Number 16, Nikki Furukawa. Number 20, Alana Byrne. Number 22, Grace Taranto. And on the bench for South Melbourne, Bridie Cooley, Christina Esposito, Olivia Edwards, Kira Tyler, Gia Capsimelis, and of course Philippic for South Melbourne, and they're coached by Matty Shepherd in his first year. So we are almost underway here for this one between Essendon and South Melbourne. It was a big Saturday afternoon of football across Victoria here in the NPL Victoria competition. South Melbourne want to try and keep the undefeated streak going in season 2025, and Essendon want to try and get a big win here as Benjamin Howell puts the ball in the middle, and we are about to be underway very, very shortly. We'll be able to sort of give you the scores across. It's going to be a big day of NPL women's football. We're about to begin round number 10 here at Cross Keys Reserve. A big occasion, a big day. Of course, for the Coveney-Kerja place. We are underway here, kicked away here by Emma Langley to start us off for Essendon. Big crowd here this afternoon here at Cross Keys Reserve. The pitch looks picturesque for football. Walked away nicely here by Wilbert. First opportunity from Colby Wilbert from outside the 18-yard box. Saved nicely there by Iagi for South Melbourne. And it'll be a corner kick. The first corner kick here, 25 seconds in. We'll go away to the home side in Essendon. It'll be Fujiwara to inbound the ball here from the corner inside the box now for Essendon. Their first opportunity to look at this one properly for a shot on target after 25 seconds. Headed away nicely there by South Melbourne, but it's going to come back to Fujiwara on that left-hand side. Crosses in nicely, including the lines in South Melbourne. Calderalis got dispossessed there by Kobe Wilbert. Ball was with Parkinson. Through the middle now, Corey Grover trying to cross this ball in, trying to find Emma Langley. Cleared away nicely again from South Melbourne. As Van Dort lobs that ball inside the 18-yard box and will head over the byline, and a goal kick for South Melbourne. 90 seconds into this one, 0-0 between Essendon and South Melbourne, of course, here for the Coveney Collegiate Plate this afternoon. As we celebrate 30 years of women's football and 30 years of the women's side and the Essendon Royals, a momentous occasion, and we've had celebrations up here across Keys Reserve during the course of the afternoon during the under-20s game, and know that the celebration will continue long into the night post-game too. Ticking now into the 3rd minute of this one. South Melbourne just going to take their time defensively. Essendon passes back to Yagi. For Romano, Sanju. She's turned that ball over to Jurdic. Captain for Essendon, Keisha Sanju. Good work body on body there. It's now in the defensive third here for South Melbourne as they go through the middle. Doralis passed nicely there for Bomford. Now on this left-hand side for South Melbourne, a chance for them to go inside their 18-yard box. Furukawa tried to get on the back end of that one, couldn't do so. And again, blocked nicely there was the Essendon Royals defence. Burn to the direction of Rebecca Van Dorsen. Ball ricocheted there by Nikki Furukawa. Stay with the Essendon Royals now in their defensive third. Conditions looking great this afternoon. 17, 18 degrees outside and sunny as the pitch looks in beautiful condition for football. It's a good afternoon for football, that's for sure. Here's Francesca Romano. This left-hand side. That's to do with Colby Robert, who's been a lot of play so far this afternoon for Essendon. There'll be a throw in here for South Melbourne. 4th minute of this contest. So South Melbourne head back. Grace Taranto trying to find Furukawa, and a little bit too much mayo on that lob ball there to Furukawa from Grace Taranto. Throw in here for the Essendon Royals, and they'll head about 6 metres upfield and get another opportunity. Grover, Langley, Corey. Passing back here for Michaela Jurdic. Essendon going this right-hand side now through Realbert. Passing it a little bit of space here for Fujiwara. She tried to cross it in, but blocked off there by Grace Taranto. Another corner kick on a similar side to where Essendon had their first corner kick of the afternoon. 25, 30 seconds into this contest, and they get a second corner kick here to the Essendon. So Fujiwara inside the box, chance here now for the Royals. And they come off the head of Kendra Smith, and Ayagi's able to get her hands on that one. A lot of attacking so far going the way of the Royals. Bomford. Now for Furukawa. Doralis. Bomford. And going through midfield here again, South Melbourne, Taranto. Almost lost possession there, and good pressure again by Essendon. Really applying a lot of pressure as all gets passed through midfield here. The halfway mark of Cross Keys Reserve. Corey. Parkinson. And try to go underneath here for Fujiwara. It's gone inside the box now for Yagi. We will mop up here for South Melbourne. South Melbourne, as mentioned, 5 wins, 4 draws, no losses. 2-2 draw against Heidelberg last week. Essendon with the 4 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses in 9th position. Vince Badiardo, 4th year coach. Matt Shepherd coaches South Melbourne in his first year as coach of South Melbourne. South missing out on finals last season. Essendon playing finals last season in the NPLW Victoria competition. Started nicely this season in South Melbourne as we're now into the 10th round of the season. Headed away there nicely was Terry Bartley. Keisha Sandrew trying to get She continues to run here. Keisha Sandrew trying to get possession. Trying to apply a bit of pressure. Fujiwara did really well there for Essendon. She's on a little bit of a run. Good passing here. Chance out for Essendon to get the first goal. Saved nicely there. Ava Grover maybe put a little bit more power into that one. Saved nicely there by Ayagi again. For South Melbourne. So again, Essendon doing most of the attacking in the first 8 minutes of this game. And South had to be on the defense a little bit in this one. Bomford on a bit of a run now for South Melbourne. Might find a pass in for Raquel Dorales. Back to Olivia Bomford. It might lob this ball inside for Keisha Sandrew. Maybe a bit too much there for Sandrew. It was. And then Terry Bartley with a bit of space. Clear the line and clear the ball here for the Royals. Now the Fujiwara. And Parkinson running out of real estate there in the end. Throwing in for South Melbourne. Got a nicely hit by the Royals. Bomford. Passes back, and South Melbourne again are going to have to retreat from one side of Cross Keys Reserve to the other. Possession-wise so far this afternoon, Essendon's been at the forefront, especially in the front third. Their pressure and the possession is much higher than what South Melbourne's is in the early parts of this one. Corey passes back to Van Dort. Ava Grover, and she goes out to touch. So it'll be a, well, we thought it was going to be a South Melbourne throw in, but third official has deemed it to be an Essendon Royals throw in, and it'll be the Royals. Furthest one, Fujiwara. She loses her footing. Courtesy of Grace Taranto playing challenge there, and ball goes out of touch again. It'll be a South Melbourne throw in their defensive thirds. With the throw in. South Melbourne again having to retreat defensively here. They're going to have to put a lot of bodies in the defensive third to try and clear their lines. The pressure again from Essendon's been good so far. Nearly going to this one. Bomford might lose it. She keeps it. Well done. And now a little bit of space here for the captain, Francesca Romano, is going to be. No. Taking it instead was Annabelle Haffernan. Now on the halfway line here for Alana Byrne. She tried to pass inside the box for Dorales. Again, a little bit too much on that pass there from Alana Byrne. Zara Board, long kick. Finds an opposite keeper in Ayagi for South Melbourne. Byrne, blocked nicely there again by Fujiwara. Taranto. That ball blocked, and it will be a South Melbourne throw in again in their defensive third. Taking to 12 minutes here in this first half. Essendon Royals nil, South Melbourne nil. South Melbourne still sitting in second position at the moment, still undefeated in 2025. Essendon in ninth position, 4 wins, a draw and a loss. If they can climb the ladder this afternoon with a victory. Going there for Furukawa. And again, she's been dispossessed by plenty of red shirts out there. And Essendon just seen themselves up really, really nicely, they are. They lob inside now to their front third. Fujiwara battling here with Grace Taranto. Taranto might win this ball and win this possession. She does. Just how much can she win? Putting a bit of pressure now for Furukawa for South Melbourne. Back to Taranto.
Oh, I can see it.
Flags are going the way of South Melbourne for this throw in. We're at the halfway line here at Cross Keys Reserve. Westland. Taranto had that ball blocked. Here's Francesca Romano. Passes for Alana Byrne. Again, putting the defence under a little bit of pressure here. Westland, Taranto, Ayagi. South Melbourne again getting out of dodge, but Matt Shepherd probably wouldn't be too pleased with how they're utilising the ball movement here at the moment, South Melbourne. And every chance that South Melbourne gets so far in this game, Essendon just got an answer for them by cutting them off. And that's what they've done again. It's time through Van Dort. Passes back now for Parkinson. She might go on a little bit of a run here, Amy Parkinson. She does, and this right-hand side now for Essendon. Clears one of her defenders. Ayagi did well there to save the ball. It'll be a third corner now for Essendon, this one. This time on the opposite corner flag. And again, it just shows how much more Essendon want this than South Melbourne at the moment from an attacking point of view. And attacking the ball very well. Fujiwara crosses this ball inside, headed away nicely. Can they keep it in? They can't. And Terry Bartley trying to go on the back end of that one. And his last touch there by Kendra Smith. It'll be a goal kick for South Melbourne. So we're now 1/3 into this first half. Essendon 0, South Melbourne 0. Hafferden. Dayagi. Taranto. Bonford. Taranto. For South Melbourne. One of that ball cut off again, it does. It doesn't go far this time around. Francesca Romano balances the ball nicely. Passes now for Akeisha Sanju. Sanju goes out of touch. Throw in here for Terry Bartley. Fujiwara dispossessed here by Alana Byrne. So had a good start to this game from a South Melbourne point of view. Furukawa, she passes it too. She's had that ball cut off again. Keeping it in nicely was Ava Grover. Inside for Fujiwara, she misses. South Melbourne out of dodge again. Now with Lakeisha Sanju. She's got Murley and Terry Bartley to deal with. Passes nicely here now for Bomford. And again, a bit too much of a long pass there from Bomford. Furukawa to be out of touch again for Essendon. Throw in. Quick kick away there by Sasha Corey. South Melbourne got the job, got a draw against Heidelberg last week. Essendon had a comfortable victory in their match last week. That was against FV Academy, 5-1 in that one. Of course, results so far from match day 10 of 22 in the NPL women's competition. Preston with a 5-1 win over Brunswick Juventus. Bentley with a 1-0 win over Alamein and Spring Hills. Getting the job done over Box Hill 3-2 last night. Bulleen and Heidelberg to play off in about 45 minutes. And Bundara and FV to play off later tonight. Sanju misses that one. Did bowl there against Lantiri Bartley. Emano. Sanju. Passes back. A bit of a danger zone there for Hafferton. Get out of dodge again. Burn. Trying to find a teammate, couldn't do so. Again, it's halfway. Parkinson comes in and lobs that ball over for touch. We throw in here for South Melbourne. Taking now to the 90th minute of this one here. 0-0 here at Cross Keys Reserve. Cross was celebrating 30 years of the Essendon Royals women's program. Playing off, of course, the Coventry Kershaw plate this afternoon. First time these two sides are doing that. Essendon on a run here. Lobbed off there by Sasha Corey. Came off the boots. Valada Burn. Essendon might keep possession here. Ball goes through a couple of legs. Jessica Romano's going to get on the back end of this one. She is. Can she keep possession of? She can't. And well done there by Lantiri Bartley again for Essendon. Wilbert trying to go inside. Caldualis was there. Bit of a miss kick there by Sasha Corey. I think put a bit too much power into that one. And it's too simple in there for Ayagi. Crowd in attendance this afternoon here in the grandstand across Keys Reserve. South looked like they were in a bit of strife here. Lana Byrne had no other option there but to go back. Finds now Olivia Bomford to Grace Taranto. South are now going to go left to right. On the pitch here, Keisha Sanju. Again, guarded nicely by Lantiri Bartley. And they've won a throw in here of Essendon. They get on a bit of a run, they can't. Head away nicely there by Fujiwara. To Bartley. Keeps it down. Over the top. Easy there for Ayagi. Again for South Melbourne. So South, again, just haven't been able to get really past the front third too much this afternoon of Essendon Royals have been really attacking for the real first half of this first 45 here across Keith's Reserve this afternoon. Bumped off nicely, pass might go inside here. Fujiwara caught the crosshairs a little bit there. Was Alana Byrne. Might have copped a little bit of a cork there in the end. Maybe courtesy of Emma Langley, just an accidental cork there for Alana Byrne. She's really feeling it as the physio will come out here for South Melbourne. So, give it a bit of inspection. Nothing too suspect in the challenge, just maybe a minor cork of maybe a collision of knees between Alana Byrne and Emma Langley there. But it does give both sides opportunity to refresh a little bit, have a bit of water. Maybe just quick coaching from both Vince Battiato and, of course, Matt Shepherd from both either side. Vince Battiato, it's his 4th season in charge of the Essendon Royals, brought him up from back-to-back promotions. Of course, made finals last year in the NPLWVIC Victoria competition. Matt Shepherd, 1st year in charge this year. South Melbourne finishing in 5th position and just missing out on finals last year, which hasn't happened in quite some time. Of course, it's been a tough slog for South Melbourne's men's side. However, they did get the win last night against Melbourne Knights in the old Melbourne Derby, so they got the job done last night at a Summer Street 2-0 against Melbourne Knights, who are also struggling so far this season. So South's women would love to try and make it a perfect weekend for both men's and women's competition for victories. Westland. Taranto. Tiagi, Westland. Hafferton. 25 minutes gone now in this one between South and Essendon. And South happy to play a bit of conservative ball just for the time being. Essendon pressing again in their front third, which is going to put a bit of pressure on South's defence. They might find space, they might not. Bomford did really well. They're at the halfway line in cross Keith's Reserve. Olivia Bomford almost got dispossessed. She hits the deck. That was a clean, according to the official, that was a clean challenge there. And it's play on here. Now for Corey. In space for Parkinson. Langley. And Francesca Romano. Last line of defence is going to clear away the skipper here for South Melbourne, trying to find Akeisha Sandry. Can she keep it in? She can't. It's unlucky there for Akeisha Sandry because she was going on a little bit of a run there on the left-hand side. Fortunately, couldn't keep the ball in play, and it goes out to touch again. It'll be a throw in here for Essendon. Long throw in. Fujiwara. They'll go to touch again. It'll stay with the Essendon Royals in this one. Throw in here from Mia Lantieri-Bartley. Trying to go back for Ava Grover. Wasn't nothing in there for Essendon, South Melbourne. Possession back, Grace Taranto. With a long ball there. Trying to find Raquel Dorales. Ended up finding a red shirt instead, so Essendon. And on halfway. Headed nicely there by Grace Taranto. Francesca Romano. Going to go back on the last line again for South. Byrne. And that ball goes out of touch. They'll stay with Essendon in their front third yet again. So it's been a quiet start for Zara Board from a goalkeeping perspective. She hasn't had really too much to save or really too much to worry about from an Essendon perspective defensively, because this ball here across Keys Reserve has resided mainly in Essendon's front half. And they get their fourth corner of the first half here, Essendon. Fujiwara crosses this ball in. Chancey now for Essendon on the back end of that one. Nice header there from Kendra Smith. He was able to read that nicely. Montfort. And Terry Bartley. Fujiwara. Passes through for Mia Lane Terry Bartley, who's got a bit of space here on this right-hand side for Essendon. She crosses this one in. Can they get their first goal over the top? That would have been a fantastic goal there from Emma Langley. I think the right call at the end there for Emma Langley for the shot. Maybe need to put maybe a bit more power into that shot there, I believe. And if she put a bit more power into that one, we probably would have seen our first goal of the afternoon here at Cross Keys. South Melbourne in a bit of space. This will be for Zara Board, who, as I mentioned about 90 seconds ago, is probably her second or third touch of the ball so far this afternoon. Zara Board hasn't been troubled so far in this first half. Francesca Romano here for South Melbourne. Passes back for Hafferton. Toronto. It'll be Sophie Papasanis, who'll pass it back here for Toronto. And South are going to reset yet again from the back. Hafferton. To the skipper and Francesca Romano. The pass inside halfway now for Keisha Sanju. This is better from South Melbourne. Alana Byrne. Grace Taranto. Papasanis. Will pass for Westlands. There's better control now here from South. Through midfield. Byrne. Taranto. Looking for a teammate. Keisha Sanju get on the back end of that one. Did really well there with Keisha Sanju. And a nice save there from Zara Board. Sanju put under a lot of pressure there by two defenders from Essendon. Might be in space now. Chance here for Ava Grover. Cleared away nicely here from Essendon. From South Melbourne, I should say. But it's going back the other way to Essendon. Wilburn, Grover, crosses inside. Finds the breadbasket of Ayagi there. Emma Langley couldn't get herself in the right position for a shot at goal there. So we tick now into 31 minutes into this first half here. Essendon nil, South Melbourne nil. Round 10 of the National Premier League Women's Victoria competition. Saturday afternoon football here from Cross Keys Reserve. Toronto. Doralis. Papasanis. Raquel Doralis. Key possession she can. Goes back to Papasanis. Westlands. Look for a teammate. Sophie Papasanis now going to cross the ball inside here, and Zara Board gets on the back end of that one quite easily. Not the right intention or not the right spot probably for Keisha Sanju to do anything in that situation. South Melbourne now starting to wrangle a little bit of possession back going their way. Bomford. Westlands. Furukawa. She's got to cross this ball inside. Nicely done there. Couldn't keep it down there, and there was Raquel Doralis. Essendon might get a dodge, and they do. Francesca Romano did well to juggle that ball down. Back to Ayagi in goals here for South. Papasanis. Walked away there was Raquel Durales' ball. I believe it's going to stay here with South Melbourne. It will be. So it'll be Sophie Papasanis throw this ball in here for South. Taranto. Now for Francesca Romano. Sandru had that ball cut off there by Lanteri Bartley, but it'll be a South Melbourne throw in. Francesca Romano to throw this ball in. She does. Hafferton, Taranto, halfway now here for South Melbourne. Cross that ball inside the box. Grabbing it with Zara Board. It's good that South Melbourne have started to push with more of an attacking flair in the last 5 or so minutes of this game, just to make Essendon's defence get on their toes just a little bit, because they haven't been able to do much in the first half an hour of this game. It's gone the way of the home side. South Melbourne wrangle possession back. Keisha Sandru. Also for Westlands. She can keep possession, she can't. Got the captain Michaela Jeric there. It'll be a South Melbourne throw in. Quickly taken. Terry Bartley couldn't keep her balance there, and it'll stay with Francesca Romano for South Melbourne, the captain. Romano to Keisha Sandru. Possession there was Ava Grover now for Essendon. Cut off again. Sandru. Got a couple of players to deal with. 2-on-1. Good pressure again. Cutting off Misha Westlands. There in the end was Kobe Wilburn, who's had a good start to this game. Fujiwara. Goes up here for Westlands. Romano headers it back to Westlands, but found Fujiwara instead. She goes to ground. Play on, says the official. Romano trying to get through the last of the forwards here for the Royals. Sandru had no other option there. And that could be a panic ball there, and it is. It's going to be a corner now for Essendon. So pressing back there, South Melbourne, and they've coughed up possession and they've coughed up a corner. Essendon with their 5th corner of this first half. South Melbourne have yet to register a corner so far in this game this afternoon. So Avery Fujiwara here for Essendon to try and cross this ball inside the box. Chance here for the Royals. Essendon get back in numbers. It's now 37 minutes in this game. Royals nil, South Melbourne nil. Papasanis. Taranto, Byrne. Into Papasanis for South Melbourne. Romano. Hafferton. Crosses nicely with Furukawa, but it's cut off again by the Royals. And Terry Bartley did well there just to cut it off. Only temporarily though. Possession here now for Francesca Amano. Skipper keeps her footing here for South Melbourne. Almost had it dispossessed. Amano might go all the way here at this point in time. She's done well here at Francesca Amano. And good hustle from the captain. And South Melbourne have won their first corner of this game this afternoon. So South to set themselves up. It will be Olivia Bonford to take this corner kick here for South. Westlands from 20 yards out, crosses it in, punts away nicely there by Zara Board. Real first shot on target there from South Melbourne, but it's going to come back the way here for Olivia Bonford. She does well on the left boot here for Olivia Bonford inside, and can they clear their lines here? Essendon they can. The South now attacking a lot more in this last 10 minutes than they have in the first 30. Sanju crosses inside. Ball might be easy for Amy Parkinson. If she can keep that ball in touch, she can. South starting to really show a bit more attacking flair in this game. Toronto. Papasanis, Byrne. Space now for Sanju, and fortunately Olivia Bonford was caught offside in the end. Just past the last defender before having possession. Olivia Bonford was unlucky because South looked like they were about to go on a little bit of a run there. And it will be a free kick to Essendon. Van Dort. Parkinson, that bros over the byline. Goal kick here for South Melbourne as we now turn to the 40th minute of this first half. Free kick here for Kendra Smith for Essendon. Smith inside here for the Royals. And South cleared her line again. Sanju might get on the header here. She does. Did well there to keep possession of South Melbourne. Wilbert. Now for Van Dort. Maybe Papasanis here for South Melbourne. Clear back to Ayagi. And South. Just wanting to calm things down a little bit.
Kick about at half time?
Yeah!
Okay, come downstairs.
Close to half time. In this one. There's been a bit of strife here, South Melbourne, I should say. Essendon in a really good position. Langley just kicks it over the top of her head. Again, the back end there was Nikki Furukara. Toronto gets back to Ayagi. Jessica Romano just keeps possession here. Structured by Emma Langley. Langley just doing her absolute best to put a bit of pressure on the back 30 for South Melbourne, and it's paid dividends. They get possession back. Oh, they've been dispossessed again, Essendon. to Bartley. Three for Olivia Bomford. Wilbert. Into Bartley. And an easy free kick to spot there. It's going to go the way of Essendon there. Smith just puts the ball away. Still stalemate in this Covenant Kershaw place. I think Essendon and South Melbourne the first time playing off for Covenant Kershaw, who of course was a strong duo up forward for South Melbourne all those years ago. And we're here at Cross Keys Reserve this afternoon celebrating 30 years of the Essendon Royals women's program. It's been a momentous occasion, a momentous day for everyone at the club this afternoon. They've done a fantastic job in celebrating the players past and of course the present out there this afternoon. Toronto had that ball cut off. Again, struggling again to get out of the way with Sasha Corey. Might be an opportunity here now for Fujiwara. Back, crosses inside here. Emma Langley did well there. Fujiwara saved nicely there from Ayagi. The chance here now, and it's in. It came off the bit originally of Colby Wilbert, but it will be a deflection goal there from South Melbourne. And Essendon get their first goal of this one, 44 minutes on the stroke at half time. Good pressure. Started by Emma Langley. And the Royals are on the mark this afternoon. Essendon Royals 1, South Melbourne 0. And good pressure again applied by Emma Langley to set that goal up. It's unfortunate for Kobe Wilbert. She would like to claim that goal, but it will be probably end up being an own goal, courtesy of South Melbourne. On the stat sheets. But the pressure up forward that Essendon has been putting together.
Number 12, Essendon Royals, 1-0.
They've been pressing hard all afternoon, Essendon. And just before half time, they open their account and get the first goal of the afternoon. You can see the fourth official. Well, they're going to have 1 minute of added time. Essendon with a 1-0 lead, and I probably want to try and at least keep this game lead heading into the sheds at half time. Vince Badiali will be very happy with how they've played so far in this first half. Bomford. Ball thing popped up again for Fujiwara. Got a nice pass there from Emma Langley. Couldn't control in the end. And that could have been an absolute disaster step for South Melbourne. They might maybe have one more chance and an attack here, South Melbourne. But again, it's been all Essendon in this first half. South Melbourne have had maybe about a 5 or 7 minute stands in this first half where they were attacking hard. But it's mainly been going away of Essendon. As they go on the halfway mark here now. Van Dort on a bit of a run. Fujiwara. And fortunately, caught offside there. Fujiwara. And that will probably see us out in the first half. And it does. So in the 30th anniversary of women's football, Essendon celebrating 30 years. And they open their account very late in the piece. In the 44th minute, off the deflection of a South Melbourne goal. There was a shot off there by Kobe Wilbert. But at half-time here, round 10 of the NPL Women's Victoria competition. It's Essendon Royals going into the sheds at half-time, leading 1-0. Doing all the attacking in that first half. So as we take a short break here. Welcome back here to Cross Keys Reserve at half time. It's Essendon Royals 1, South Melbourne 0. Courtesy of a deflection goal shot there from Toby Wilbert from Essendon Royals. Of course, here for the Coveney-Kershaw Cup plates. First time ever between these two sides. Both sides back out onto the pitch where it's like the second half very, very shortly. It should be a cracking contest. Essendon, as mentioned, had all of the attack in the first. Probably 80% of possessions was in their front third. South Melbourne, as I said, had a bit of a purple patch for 5 to 7 minutes in that first half where it resided in their front third, but more so I think for South, they're going to have to sort of clean up their possession. Their defence sort of lacked a bit of structure in that first half, and it's definitely something that they want to try and improve on over the next 45 minutes. And luckily, they're only down by 1 goal, so things can change in the next 45 minutes. But a lot's going to have to go right, because right now... Underway, and we are underway here in the second half here. Essendon 1, South Melbourne 0. Papasanis, who was solid in that first half for South Melbourne. Here's the Sanju, who probably couldn't get herself going. The early start of that first half got going in the second, towards the back end of that first half, and also have to try and get herself in a good position here, potentially, to help guide her team back into this contest. Langley got cut off in the end there by, so as we see, I believe a substitution's been made. It has, by South Melbourne, so Phil Povich is going to be the one on. Just going to let you know who's potentially the player off for South of Melbourne. So they have made a change at half-time. Matt Shepherd's side, maybe just to bring some fresh legs into this contest, as the ball will stay in Essendon's front third to start the second half here. So we've ticked into now first 90 seconds of this one. Corey in a bit of space now. Sasha Corey tried well. Ball goes, lobs over the top and over for a goal kick. Westlands. Akeisha Sanju. Jessica Amano. Bit of pass position there from South Melbourne as Essendon run out of real estate. That ball gets thrown back in. Akeisha Sanju, can she keep the ball in? She can. There was a quick throw in there from South. Francesca Amano causes Emma Langley to lose her balance just a little bit. Furukawa can't get that ball in. Ball goes over the byline. It'll be a goal kick here for Zara Board from the Essendon Royals. Ball in Heidelberg has just kicked off at the Veneto Club, so we'll keep you up to date on that game across the afternoon. Of course, Bundara FV play later tonight to end round 10 of the NPL Women's Victoria competition. Not be an issue here for Zara Board. I mean, the smart thing of wearing a cap, which I've seen a couple of keepers in the past wear, just to get the sun glare out of the eyes, but South Melbourne here through Amano. She keeps possession. She's got 2 to deal with, including Emma Langley, who's just on her like a book. Did really well there, Emma Langley. Just on her and kept putting a lot of pressure on there was Emma Langley. Ball goes out of touch, and it'll be a throw in here for South Melbourne. There's 5 minutes almost elapsed in this second half. Ball thrown in here for South Melbourne Westlands. That ball go for touch. Through midfield here now for Essendon. To Bartley, try to find Langley. Ball's coming back the other way. Line of burn now for South Melbourne. Just going to clear that ball and put it into the front third here for South. And fortunately, again, flag goes up. Another offside this time around again for South Melbourne. Second offside of this game. First for the second half. Michaela Juric, captain here for Essendon. Lob that ball inside the front third. Now on a bit of run here with South Melbourne. On ball there was Philippic. Chance now on the run here now is here for Amy Parkinson. Parkinson on this left-hand side. Trying to curl it inside and ended up finding Hafferton's feet instead. And South can clear again. Only as far as Raquel Durales. This is better movement now from South Melbourne. Bomford. On a bit of a run. Westlands might cross this ball in. If she can keep it in, she can. She's done well here, Misha Westlands. Chance now for South Melbourne to potentially go inside. They can't. And cleared away again. Well was Essendon. Fujiwara did well there. Finds Sasha Corey, who's been cut off here by Francesca Romano. So South Melbourne just pass back. Byrne in the defensive third now for Essendon. Westland. Sanju. Amano. Will stay through midfield. Here for both sides. Amano trying to find a kick to Sanju, does so. Sanju now on a little bit of a run here on this right-hand side for South Melbourne. Tries to go inside for Bomford. Actually cut off in the end nicely in the end by Amy Parkinson. And South doing all the attacking for the most part of the second half. That was a good back heel. Chance now for Olivia Bomford. Now for Akeisha Sanju. Can she get past the last defender? She's trying really hard. Pressure there from Essendon. Sanju hits the deck. Play on, says the referee. And Essendon get out of jail now in a bit of space here. Is Ava Grover now for Essendon. Got Papasanis to deal with. Grover looking for options. Try to go again inside. There'll be a free kick there. Just a minor tug on the jumper. Off Lepovic there from Ava Grober. And it'll be a South Melbourne free kick in their back third. Vupovic. Bonford now back to the substitution. It's cut off in the end. Headed away there. Westland did well. She kept her foot in there. Small pass is good for Doralis. Back to Westland. Good shot off there in the end from Francesca Romano. And saved nicely in the end by Zara Board. 55 minutes gone. Essendon 1. Through a deflection goal. Kicked off there by Kobe Wilbert in the 44th minute. South Melbourne 0. All for the Coveney Kershaw plate this afternoon. First time ever that these two sides are playing off for this plate in particular for both Essendon and South, and the first of many. Looks like the first Kobe Kershaw plate is going to head and it's going to stay here across Keys Reserve unless South Melbourne can get a result here. Cross inside here from Essendon. And South cleared a line yet again. Kept down nicely. It was through Rukar and she's been fouled. Keisha Sanju. Doralis. Now for Francesca Romano. Inside the box. Board gets on the back end of that one. Good save. Bottle Rules, number one in charge there. And Zara Board. That ball might go for touch. It does. Try to find Emma Langley, but maybe potential of how much of the wind potentially carried that ball over the touchline for Essendon in that situation. And South Melbourne will get ball back, and they do so through Alana Byrne. I think Grace Taranto is the one that's actually come off for Vupovic in this one. Byrne. Headed down nicely. Kept here by Olivia Bomford. It was cut off in the end there by Essendon. The Royals might be on a little bit of a run here, and they do so through Ava Grober. Grober in a bit of space now for Emma Langley. Saved nicely, and then there by South. It was a good intention. Ayagi read that beautifully in the end. But didn't want the ball in there inside the box from Ava Grober. And Emma Langley hasn't put herself on the score sheet so far this afternoon, but she's been threatening in space this afternoon. Except for that ball there where most likely she would like to have her time again if she would, Emma Langley, with how she would utilise possession there for Essendon. She's handed the ball back over to South Melbourne. And South, their 18-yard box will clear. Through Coward. Juggles it nicely. It's probably giving this one up to Ava Grober. Ball goes out of touch and it'll go back to South Melbourne. It'll be Papasanis here for South to throw the ball in. Kendra Smith looking back for teammates. Parkinson. Van Dort. Vupovic did well to get herself in there too for South. With Jerich. But she's had her ball cut off. Furukawa now on a bit of a run here for South Melbourne. Can she keep it in? She can't. And that heads over the byline for a goal kick. 59 minutes gone in this one. Essendon 1, South Melbourne 0. South looking a bit more threatening in their front third to start this second half, which, if you watch the first half, wasn't too much that they did. Free kick here for South Melbourne, but as I said, they had a spate for 5 to 7 minutes where they were threatening to try and score that first goal after Essendon did most of the attacking in their front third for 80-85% of that first half. Here, chance now for Furukawa. She goes over the top of Zara board. Both women are okay, which is good to see. So we're now 1/3 into this second half, 60 minutes gone. Ball heads up and again goes out of touch. Was that 4 touch for South Melbourne? Umano. Hafferton. Good here for Furukawa. And she's been dispossessed nicely there in the end by Ava Grover. Ball goes out of touch again. Sasha Coy is on the back end of that one there for Essendon. Comes off the shoulder this time around of Ava Grover, but they're trying to keep possession again. Essendon and South Melbourne trying to play through the middle. Bomford got dispossessed there. And now Ava Grover will get another chance. She does. Finds Corey. Dispossessed there was Fujiwara. Again, Essendon finding a bit of space. And Sasha Corey keeps that ball in only just though. There's nothing more that she can do except Essendon have a chance here. And Emma Langley trying to continue the heroics of what she did in that first half. Try and find a teammate to try and double their leads. Not to be on this occasion. Since Battiato and Matt Shepherd will probably start to make you'd say some moves in the next couple of minutes. We now tick down the last 28 minutes or so of this contest. And there was Terry Bartley, Fujiwara. It's Elaine Terry Bartley. Go inside here, try to find Ava Grover. And South clear again. Can they clear fully though? Yes, they can. Amano. Trying to find Doralis there. Was bumped off in the end by Juric. And Essendon clear their back third again. Yeah, Essendon will be happy to hold on to this slender lead at this point in time, but you know South can score quickly with a flurry, and that's what they want. Zarborg gets on the back of that one, throws it to Michaela Juric, the captain of Essendon. Fujiwara here for Essendon. Goes on a bit of a run. Ava Grover couldn't get on the back end of that one. She had to contend with 3 defenders from South Melbourne. Veered away here by Ayagi for South Melbourne, and it will stay with the away side. Of course, Essendon win all reds. Red shirt, red shorts, and their red socks, and South wearing their traditional away kits, which is white. The all-white kits this afternoon. Papasanis dispossessed. Done well here. Emma Langley over the top. Not going to trouble the keeper in the slightest. So we celebrate 30 years of women's football, 30 years of the Essendon Royals women's program. This afternoon here for the Coveney Kershaw plates, which will be presented post-game to the potential winner. Bomford on halfway now here for South Melbourne. Lawrence Papasanis. Ball cleared away nicely now by Lantiri Bartley for Essendon. Sanju inside now for Bomford over the top. There was a good chance there to equalise, was Olivia Bomford. Just veered right side of the post and out for a goal kick. Good, nice cross in there from Akeisha Sanju. An unfortunate chance gone there for South Melbourne. Grover's had a good start to the second half. She's actually had a really good game overall, I'd say, Eva Grover. Ball cleared away again. Here down. Ermano. Popovic. And Ava Grover dispossesses her. Well done by Ava Grover from Essendon. Finds Corey. Trying to go for Parkinson. Corey got dispossessed. Now it's back with Parkinson here for the Royals. That ball will head out for touch here, and it'll be a throw in here for South Melbourne. So we're about to see another substitution here for South Melbourne. It will be Sophie Papasanis making way. Bridie Cooling coming on for her first minutes of the afternoon. (32nd appearance at NPLWVIC Victoria level. Bridie Cooling was at Box Hill last season, of course, from the Apple Island, Tasmania, plying her football trade on the mainland. Only 20 years of age too, the defender. So she's on now for a 32nd cap of her NPL Women's Victoria competition. 3 goals in her NPLW Victoria career. We'll see if Bridie Cooling can make it any kind of mark here for South Melbourne in the second half. Van Dort for Essendon. Ball's been played again on halfway. Wilbert. Nicely cut away here. On a bit of a run is Fujiwara here now for Essendon. And almost put it in. But goes in the second time. This time through Sasha Corey. And Sasha Corey doubles Essendon's lead now. And they lead 2-0. Went off the woodwork originally by Fujiwara. And Sasha Corey with the second touch. It pays dividends for Essendon. Essendon 2, South Melbourne 0. So we're taking 68 minutes here in the second half here at Cross Keys Reserve. Essendon looking likely they're about to secure their 5th win of the season. As Betty Michael comes on for her first minutes of the afternoon, and coming off is Mia Lantiri Bartley, who's had a fantastic game for Essendon. But Sasha Corey puts herself on the score sheets. So second goal from her 10 appearances. Of course, she was part of Adelaide United's women's team. So has got a bit of Ninja A-League women's experience, Sasha Corey. And has scored her second goal as a Royal. Essendon 2, South Melbourne 0. It's a long way back now for South. As Ava Grober going to play this one, keep this one in, does so. Parkinson squares it inside. And Keith Sanders going to try and keep momentum and possession here for South Melbourne. South haven't lost a game so far this season, so Essendon might potentially give them their first blemish of season 2025. As mentioned, they've got 5 wins, 4 draws to their name, South Melbourne. Haven't lost in any form of competition so far this season on the women's side. And as mentioned, South looking for their 5th win of the Essendon, I should say, looking for their 5th win of the season. They've had a draw and they've lost 4 games so far in season 2025. Byrne has had that ball cut off. Smith. Back to Jurich. Fujiwara in a bit of space now. And on a run again is Essendon. Might cross this ball inside again. Couldn't do so this time around. And a free kick going the way of the Royals here as we tick in now to 70 minutes gone in this second half. A bit of space. Trying to leave it out there, and originally it was Bridie Cooling. Didn't realise that Parkinson was on the back end of that one. That ball was going to go out for touch. And it's got to stay with the Royals, who will be very happy at the moment with this 2-0 leads over South Melbourne, 71 minutes gone. And with the win today, would put Essendon, just for the time being, into 5th position. I mean, Bulleen and Heidelberg are playing right now as we speak, but Essendon will jump up from 9th to 5th position and then maybe drop down to 6th, depending on the result out of the Veneto Club this afternoon. So I did say at the start of this game that if Essendon win this one, they expect them to jump up the ladder just quite a bit. And they'll jump up 4 spots with a win this afternoon. One positive from South will be they'll stay inside that top 4. I'll hold that thought shortly. Grober. Now for Betty Michael, coming off the bench. Had a ball ricochet. And South clear away. So South will stay inside that top 4. But this is a substantially positive result going the way of Essendon this afternoon. Ball lobbed up in the air here from Rebecca Van Dort. Langley, who passed there for Kobe Wilbert. On a bit of a run now again is Betty Michael. She might find a bit of space here for Ava Grober. Unfortunately ran out of real estate and got pressured out there and ended up finding Argy instead. But Vince Battiato will be very happy with the fresh legs. A good fresh approach here for Essendon, especially with Betty Michael running on that flank for the Royals in the second half. Fujiwara. Ball for Jurich. Stay here now for Essendon through Parkinson. Both her and Doralis meet in the middle. Doralis very ginger to get back up. Fujiwara finds Ava Grobe on the left-hand side here for Essendon. Crosses inside and cleared out again by South. Parkinson with the throw in. Headed away there was Kendra Smith finding Emma Langley. Langley, who was in the front half for most of this game. She's pushed up now into midfield, Emma Langley, just to give at least Betty Michael and Ava Grover just a bit more time, a bit more space to run around in the front third. Fujiwara here for the Royals. Beats Westlands to the punch. And they keep possession to Essendon. Fujiwara now on a bit of a run here. Chance for Fujiwara to get herself on the scoreboard, and she misses. Saved nicely there by Yagi. So there, Furukawa, I should say. My apologies. For Povich. Headed nicely away to the front third here for Essendon yet again, but it's cleaned up nicely by Francesca Romano now to Akeisha Sanju, and might run out of real estate in the end for South Melbourne. It does. Tough afternoon for South Melbourne at the office here across Keys Reserve. So coming into this game, Fujiwara with a nice sliding challenge, but not deemed enough to warrant a cards. It would just be a free kick here for South Melbourne. Smith headed away, and now it's going to go out for touch there for South Melbourne for a throw in here for the captain, Francesca Romano. Parkins. Westland did well, I should say. Now for Sanju. Bomford. Try to go inside. If South can maybe get a goal back here, then it makes the game open up and makes things very interesting again. But you'd say if Essendon put a third in, then you would call it game, set, and match. And the 3 points going the way of Essendon this afternoon. Grobar. Back pass is good for Parkinson. Cut off in the end there by Furukawa. And it'll be a South Melbourne throw in towards their corner flag here. It'll be Bridie Cooling with the throw in here for Southers. Iagi's just cramping up just a little bit for South Melbourne, so we'll get a small break in play. And while we do that, we'll quickly go around the grounds and we will head to the Veneto Club. See how that game is going so far this afternoon, so bear with us. And so after 34 minutes of the Veneto Club, Heidelberg leads that one 1-0 over Bulleen. So if the results stay the way it is right now, as Heidelberg look like they're about to press inside their front third right now, and in the other game, the Veneto Club. But if results do stay the same, especially for Essendon in particular, then the Royals will secure fifth position, and they'll be in fifth position at the end of round number 10, which will give them a lot of momentum heading into the next clash next week. It's a big game for Essendon next week, because next Saturday afternoon they travel to take on Heidelberg United. South Melbourne have the standalone fixture at Lakeside Stadium next Sunday against Booandara. So that's next week's games for both sides here, both Essendon and South Melbourne. And if they can start to string some wins together, Essendon, then again, they'll be able to maybe hopefully take a couple of scalps. And, well, they've taken one scalp in particular this afternoon. You'd say, well, potentially giving South Melbourne their first loss of the season. Now it's all about potentially trying to give that second scalp, and that will be maybe at the behest of the top of the ladder, Heidelberg United. Now, South Melbourne have given that ball up. Corey, who scored the last goal for Essendon. See how the ball goes out, but it'll stay with Essendon here, and it will be through. Was it Amy Parkinson? He's had a good afternoon at the office, Parkinson. Ball thrown in. And it's gone out. It'll be for South Melbourne ball. Bomford back to Alana Byrne. Popovic through midfield here. Losing it originally was Parkinson. And they keep possession again, South Melbourne. And I'm sorry, Essendon, South Melbourne lose possession. And on a run here, and Popovic is going to get a card for her troubles. Bit too much tugging on the jumper there for Sasha Corey. And it'll be a free kick here. It'll be free kick in there now for Essendon. Through Kendra Smith. South with a wall of two. And the Royals, you know, will want to put this game to bed. With this set piece free kick, you'd say 10 minutes of regular time plus a couple of minutes of added stoppage time still to come. So you say maybe another 14, 15 minutes left of game play here this afternoon. Not a good thing here for... Oh, that's beautiful. Ari Fujiwara, that was superb. That was sublime. And while the result now is beyond doubt, Fujiwara, that's their first goal of the afternoon. And Essendon are going to get the 3 points this afternoon. It's Fujiwara's 6th goal in her 10th game this season for Essendon. And Ari Fujiwara puts herself on the scoreboard this afternoon. Essendon Royals 3, South Melbourne 0, 81 minutes gone. And the 3 points are well and truly safe now for Essendon in this one. And they'll be in 5th position at the conclusion of this game. That was a cracking strike from 18 yards there from Ari Fujiwara. They might try and go again. I mean, they put 5 on FV last week. Now 5-1 win did Essendon. So they've only conceded 1 goal in their last 2 games, and they've put 8 now goals. They've put 8 in the back of the net in the last 2 games, have Essendon. And again, this is momentum for them heading into next week's big game against Heidelberg United. They've done their job this afternoon for sure, and they've taken a scalp in a team that hasn't lost a game until this afternoon in South Melbourne. But we are fully now turning for home. So we take now into the 83rd minute of this one. Essendon 3, South Melbourne 0. In what's been just a phenomenal, sublime, superb display here from the Royals this afternoon at home at Cross Keys Reserve. Can South at least get a goal just to stem the bleeding just a little bit? Doesn't look like Essendon are very keen to give up a goal this afternoon. Wilbert, Fujiwara, inside the box, Grober. And that would have been a great way to end what's been a fantastic afternoon for Essendon. Ava Grover's been threatening up forward all afternoon. And now with every possession, Essendon have the bench just erupt in applause. Vince Battiato couldn't ask for any more better from his girls this afternoon than the way they've played. They've been the better team all afternoon. And it's going to stay with Essendon here. I think it might have been an accidental handball. It'll be Kendra Smith to set up again for the set-piece free kick. And a chance for Essendon maybe to get their 4th goal on the boards. Smith from the set-piece. Looking for a teammate. Try to go for broke herself. Miyagi was able to get that ball into her bread basket quite comfortably in the end. And as I say, it's very hard to as well stay undefeated in this competition for long periods of time. And positive for South Melbourne is stayed undefeated for the last 9 games, and we're highly competitive against first place Heidelberg United last week in that 2-2 draw, but unfortunately we've just had a bit of a crash landing back to earth. Again, it's a long season. We've still got 11 games left of the regular season before finals, so anything can still happen in this one. Fujiwara now on a bit of a run here for Essendon. Calls for handball, not warranted here. Trying to get a foot on it there was Sasha Corey. Head up there was Van Dort. But it's going to stay here with South Melbourne through Francesca Romano. And putting that ball out to touch there was Emma Langley, who's been fantastic today. As we're going to see a double substitution here for South Melbourne. Kira Taylor's coming on. Coming off is Raquel Doralis. And coming on as well was Olivia Edwards off for Annabelle Heffernan, who's been very quiet in that second half. So Matt Shepherd happy to just roll with the substitution here for the last couple of minutes of this game. I think Vince Battiato is about to make a couple of subs himself. He knows his game has been put to bed, so he might bring on some more fresh legs. Betty Michael was able to bring in some fresh legs in this one. And speaking of which, here is Betty Michael now on a bit of a run. Chance here for Betty Michael to get herself on the scoreboard, and she can't. Again, nice run on that flank again from Michael. Not to be, as we're going to see a substitution here potentially shortly now for Essendon. They're just speaking with the technical director just to sort of give a bit of instructions from the assistants too. And the Royals are about to make their second change of the afternoon. Royals throw this one back in. All with Byrne. Cooling. Edwards. A bit of fresh legs here. Might be dispossessed here in the end by Parkinson. Edwards had to go back. Did so. Finds Cooling. Back over now to Ayagi. Cheska Romano. Wilbert. Trying to find Betty Michael again. And now we're about to see the second substitution made here for Essendon in this one. Philomene Dalic coming on for Ava Grober. So Grober, really good second half from Ava Grober. Unfortunately, couldn't get herself on the score sheet. She would have loved a goal in this game because she was threatening all afternoon. Not to be. So her afternoon is done, but she's done more than enough damage to South's defence. So from Ava Grober, she'd be very happy with her performance this afternoon. And brings on the flesh legs of Philomena Delic, who's got herself in the first bit of play for herself this afternoon. Byrne trying to clear her lines a little bit. Edwards. Parkinson's there as well. And South had to go back. Sasha Coy was threatening. So Philomene Delic in a really good position potentially to play as that one of those strikers up there, one of those forwards at least for Essendon. The last few minutes of this game. So we're ticking to the final minute of regular time. And fifth position will sit comfortably for Essendon. Rukara keep it in. Had that ball ricocheted. So South are going to try and get at least a late goal. It'll be Olivia Bonfort take this corner kick here for South. Hands up by Bonfort. She's asking which one of her teammates wants this ball. That's going to come in very, very shortly. Bonfort lobs it inside and will be cleared. Well done by the Royals to clear that ball. And that ball might go out for touch, and it will. It's just going to beat Philomena Delic in the end. Quick throw in here by Misha Westland. Cooling throws the ball back in. Fujiwara. How much run now does both sides have? Edwards and Betty Michael, the two fresh legs on opposite sides. Running for that one there in the end by Olivia Edwards. Kira Taylor hits the deck and wins a free kick. That came off. That was a challenge there by Sasha Coy. And we're going to get one more substitution at least here. Renee Pocock's going to come on for Fujiwara, who's got herself on the score sheet this afternoon. And we've got 3 minutes of added time. So South have 3 minutes to at least get themselves a goal. It's a consolation goal. Bonfort inside here. Should have got better there was Furukawa. Westlands saved nicely there by Zara Boards. Good intention there by Westland, but an even better save there by Board. And it's another late corner here for South Melbourne. So we're ticking to the first minute of stoppage time. Bonfort to put this ball in. And it's tipped over the crossbar and out for a goal kick. Try to find Sasha Corey as our scoreboard's frozen, so I can guarantee you it's not 91 minutes and 4 seconds elapsed in this game. We're close now to 92, or in at least the last minute of this stoppage time, that's for sure, but as it is getting a little bit nippy outside here at Cross Keys Reserve, and I think the scoreboard has just frozen out just for the time being. Board gets on the back end of that one. And you would say that's probably the last play of this game. South Melbourne will get their first loss of the season. And for the Essendon Royals, they've won the Coveney-Kershaw Plate. It's only a matter of time now before the referee blows his whistle to end this game this afternoon. 3 points for the Royals in what's been a superb display from Essendon. They started this afternoon in 9th position. They're going to end this game in 5th position. And it gives them a lot of momentum heading into a big game against Heidelberg United at the Olympic Village next weekend. Ball goes up in the air, headed away. And that's it. Essendon get the job done. They win the Coveney-Kershaw Plate. And they get their 5th win of the season. And they go into 5th position. Final score here Essendon Royals 3, South Melbourne now go to 5-4-1 on the season. They finished with no goals. And Vince Battiato will be very happy. All the momentum now heading into the game next weekend against Heidelberg United. Essendon deserved the victory, and they got it quite comfortably in the end. So as we close here, thank you so much for watching the game this afternoon. The Covenant Kircher plate will be awarded to the Royals very, very shortly. But as we finish up here this afternoon, Essendon Royals win this one 3-0 over South Melbourne. I'm Michael Thompson. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And we'll catch you for more NPL Women's Victoria football during the course. Make sure you follow us on our socials, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And we'll see you next time for another big edition here for NPL Victoria. But on behalf of the entire team, it is good afternoon from Cross Keys Reserve.